If Caitlin Clark is the quote-unquote savior, if she's the golden girl, milk it.
Reality is knocking on the door of the porta potty. The truth is finally coming to the light. The same light going to be dimming here in about 12 hours when Caitlin Clark is eliminated from the playoff.
The WNBA just suffered a major blow. With Caitlin Clark eliminated from the playoffs, viewership collapsed, falling from 1.8 million to only 161,000. That's a staggering 91% drop. Could this be the wake-up call the league has been avoiding?
Ratings for Game 1 have got to be disappointing for Kat Engelbert in the WNBA front office. There were regular season games this season where Caitlin Clark drew more than 1.8 million viewers.
Before we continue, I have a quick favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. More than 98% of viewers watch without subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything, but it means a lot to us. So, did you hit that subscribe button? Awesome. Thank you. Now, let's get back to the video. Let's take a moment to talk about the Caitlin Clark era, because it was wild. Sold-out arenas, record-breaking ratings, and non-stop hype. The entire sports world had its eyes on the WNBA. Clark was draining shots from way beyond the arc, crowds were losing their minds, and it finally felt like women's basketball was getting the spotlight it always deserved. But now, it's like everything suddenly hit pause. Seats are empty, ratings are nosediving, and the league is struggling to keep fans locked in. It's a complete reversal of what we just witnessed. Here's the twist, though. This collapse might actually be the wake-up call the WNBA needs. Stick around, because I'm about to break down why this downer could end up being the best thing that's happened to the league. Trust me, you'll want to hear this. But before we get into how this crash might actually save the WNBA, we need to look at what the league is losing. Imagine this, a league completely transformed almost overnight. Arenas packed wall-to-wall, and TV numbers so strong they had other sports paying attention.
It is safe to say, North America, that the Caitlin Clark effect has taken over the WNBA at this point.
All because of one player. Sounds unbelievable, right? But that's exactly the kind of impact Caitlin Clark had. Let's break it down. Clark didn't just enter the WNBA, she exploded into it. In her very first playoff game, she became the only rookie ever to put up 25 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. That's not just impressive. That's the kind of thing that rewrites the record books. But her influence went far beyond numbers. Clark turned every matchup into a must-see event. People who had never paid attention to women's basketball were suddenly tuning in. The Indiana Fever went from sitting at the bottom to becoming a legitimate playoff threat almost instantly. It felt like a real-life sports movie playing out in front of us. And the stats? Unreal. We're talking about 177,000 fans filling arenas, a massive 156% jump in attendance. Her debut alone became the most watched. Her debut became the most watched WNBA game in over 2 decades. The league had never experienced anything like it. But here's where things start to get complicated. The WNBA essentially put everything on Caitlin Clark's shoulders. They rode the wave of hype, and honestly, who wouldn't? But they overlooked one crucial reality. Basketball is a team sport. So when Clark and the Fever were knocked out of the playoffs, it was like someone unplugged the whole system. The sellouts vanished. TV ratings collapsed, dropping a staggering 91% from 1.8 million viewers to barely 161,000. That's not a dip. That's a full-on crash. Now you might be thinking, isn't this horrible for the WNBA? And on the surface, yeah, it looks terrible. But stay with me because this might actually be the turning point the league needed. Clark's exit exposed an uncomfortable truth. The WNBA became too reliant on a single superstar. They weren't promoting other players, they weren't building a long-term fan base. Everything revolved around Caitlin. And sure, that worked while she was on the court. But what happens when your main draw gets hurt, retires, or gets bounced from the playoffs? You can't build an entire league around one person, no matter how talented they are. This crash is a wake-up call. pressuring the league to rethink its marketing, improve player development, and figure out how to actually maintain fan interest. And honestly, that could be the best thing that happens to them. But wait, if Clark was such a game changer, why was the WNBA still losing money? Because the league's financial problems go way deeper than most people realize. We're about to uncover the $10 million issue hiding in plain sight. Yep, the WNBA has been losing around $10 million every single season. And Clark's massive popularity didn't magically erase those losses. So, what's really happening? It's not pretty. The WNBA has been relying heavily on the NBA to keep everything running, to the tune of a $200 million lifeline every year, just to stay afloat.
However, I hope Kat Engelbert is ready for disappointment because there's a hell of a lot more of it on the way. There were 3 other games in the WNBA on Sunday night.
That kind of financial model isn't sustainable, and it's definitely not what you want from a professional sports league. But here's where it gets even crazier. The WNBA had a golden chance handed to them with Caitlin Clark, a once-in-a-generation star who had the entire sports world buzzing. So, what did the league do? They fumbled it. Badly. Imagine having the most talked about athlete in your league and not featuring her in any major commercials. That's exactly what happened. It's like owning a brand new Ferrari and leaving it hidden under a cover. Makes zero sense. And this isn't just a Clark problem, it's a league-wide marketing problem. Their entire strategy has been all over the place. They leaned so heavily on one player that they practically ignored the rest of the roster. They piled everything into one basket, and then that basket got bounced out of the playoffs. You might be thinking, isn't this horrible for the WNBA? On the surface, yes. It looks rough. But here's the twist. This might be the reality check the league desperately needed. It's forcing them to confront the truth. The WNBA can't survive on NBA funding forever. They can't build their entire future around one superstar, no matter how electric she is. And they absolutely can't. They can't keep bleeding $10 million a year and expect the league to survive. But here's the good news. Caitlin Clark's impact proved something important. The demand for women's basketball is real. Fans want to watch, they want to support, and they want to be part of the excitement. The WNBA just has to learn how to harness that energy. So, what's the next move for the league? They need a complete reset, starting with their marketing. It's time to spotlight more players, build real rivalries, and develop storylines that keep people engaged even when their favorite star isn't playing. And then there's the money issue. The WNBA has to rethink how it brings in revenue. Ticket sales and TV deals alone aren't enough. Why not launch a WNBA video game? Or create a dedicated fantasy league? There's a massive amount of untapped potential just waiting to be used. But here's something even bigger. Imagine a league where every game feels like a must-watch event. A league where you tune in not knowing who's about to blow up next or which player is about to dominate social media. Sounds like a fan's dream, right? Well, that might be exactly where the WNBA is headed. Now, let's talk about the WNBA's blueprint for the post-Clark era. It's not just about discovering the next big thing. It's about building an entire lineup of stars. Picture this. Every player with their own story, their own fan base, and their own highlight moments people can't stop sharing. To get there, the league needs to diversify how it promotes players. No more betting everything on one name. Instead, they should be They need to start building storylines around multiple players. Maybe it's the rookie who's breaking expectations, or the seasoned veteran making a dramatic comeback after a near career-ending injury. These are the narratives that keep fans emotionally invested, even when their favorite star isn't on the floor. And then there's the power of rivalries. Nothing fires up an audience like a classic grudge match. The WNBA could lean into this, crafting must-see showdowns that fans circle on their calendars. Imagine the hype around a matchup where 2 fierce competitors go head-to-head, each backed by their own passionate fan bases. But it can't just be about the action on the court. The WNBA has to elevate the entire fan experience. Every game should feel like an event, interactive fan zones, halftime entertainment people actually look forward to, maybe even a few celebrity appearances. The goal? make WNBA games the hottest ticket in town. Now, let's talk revenue. The league can't keep depending on NBA funding. They need new, creative income sources. A WNBA video game? That's a great start. A fantasy league? Even better. A fantasy league could get fans invested in every player's performance, and exclusive merch drops could turn athletes into style icons. The key is thinking creatively. The WNBA has something unique. They just need to package and present it in a way that resonates with today's audience. It's about building an entire ecosystem where fans stay engaged not only on game nights, but all year long. But here's the catch. All of this has to be built on a solid foundation. The WNBA can't afford to lean on a single superstar ever again. Long-term stability requires investing in player development, strengthening scouting, and creating a talent pipeline that keeps the league fresh and exciting season after season. It won't be easy. The WNBA is facing real challenges. But if they get this right, the future could be incredible. A league where every matchup feels as thrilling as a Caitlin Clark playoff game, where fans tune in not for one star, but for an entire lineup of elite athletes operating at their peak. And here's the bigger picture. This isn't just about the WNBA. It's about shifting the landscape for all women's sports. If the WNBA can figure out this formula, they could set the standard for other leagues to follow, ushering in a new era of sports entertainment. All right, let's wrap it up. We've talked about the Caitlin Clark effect, the ratings plunge, and the $10 million problem. But the future of the WNBA isn't tied to just one player, it's tied to all of us. Here's the truth. The league needs our support, not just when a superstar is on the floor, but every game. It's time for fans to show up. Watch the games. Buy the merch. Follow your favorite players. Engage on social media. Every single action matters. The WNBA is on the edge of massive growth. They just need bold marketing and real fan connection. And that's where we come in. A new chapter is already being written. The question is, are you going to be part of it? Because trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next.